Pedro Pascal just hijacked Marvel's most important movie, and it's a total disaster. Marvel didn't just hand Pedro Pascal the keys to Reed Richards, they might have handed him the detonator to their entire cinematic universe. What was supposed to be a long-awaited, fan-hyped return of the Fantastic Four is now spiraling into a bizarre, politically charged circus. And Pedro? He's not helping. He's the ringleader. There was a time when landing a Marvel role meant you'd made it. Instant icon, Comic-Con royalty. But now, it's like walking into a war zone where every interview is a minefield, and your biggest enemy is your own fan base. Welcome to the new Marvel, and Pedro Pascal is the poster boy for its unraveling. From superhero to soapbox. Instead of rallying fans behind the return of one of Marvel's most beloved teams, Pedro decided to take the press tour off-road. Instead of talking Reed Richards, he's on stage ranting about politics, social issues, and why anyone who disagrees is just part of the problem. The man went from Fantastic Four to political philosopher real quick, and every time he opens his mouth, the focus drifts further from the movie and more into, what did Pedro say this time? It's like watching a TED Talk crash into a Comic-Con panel. Reed Richards or revisionist history? Here's the real twist. Pedro told fans if they didn't like his version of Reed Richards, they should go read the comics. Bold move, considering those same comics are the exact reason fans are raising their eyebrows. His take isn't just a new interpretation, it's a complete rewrite. Fans aren't just upset for fun. They've read the source material, they know these characters. They've been with them for decades. So when Pedro starts calling critics closed-minded or stuck in the past, all it does is pour gasoline on the fire. When a reboot becomes a red flag. This movie was already skating on thin ice. Gender-swapped characters, an altered Silver Surfer, script rewrites, even a rumored Shia LaBeouf cameo that mysteriously disappeared. It's starting to feel less like a fresh take and more like a Frankenstein project, held together by duct tape and deflection. One of the weirdest parts? Pedro teased that the film has a hidden anagram about gender politics buried in the story. Like, what are we watching? A superhero epic or Da Vinci Code 3 Marvel edition? Marvel's new strategy: hide the agenda. Pedro's comments exposed what fans have suspected for a while. Marvel isn't backing off the politics. They're just getting better at hiding them. Instead of loud speeches, it's now subtle messaging woven into every scene. They've traded transparency for trickery, slipping ideology under the radar while pretending they're just telling stories. But make no mistake, it's still there. The tone, the narrative shifts, the sudden character transformations. It's all part of a new playbook that prioritizes message over momentum. And Pedro? He's proudly waving that playbook like a flag. The soul of Marvel is slipping away. Remember when Marvel was about character? When Tony Stark's flaws made him human, Cap's values made him inspiring, and T'Challa's presence gave you chills? That Marvel united fans across politics, cultures, generations. Now we've got scripts trying so hard to be modern, they forget to be good. Emotional moments are replaced by lectures. Dialogue sounds like Twitter threads, and the Fantastic Four, the first family of Marvel, is now just another vehicle for commentary disguised as content. Chaos behind the scenes. It's not just the fans feeling the fallout. Insiders claim the production is a mess. Constant rewrites, confused direction, and a cast growing restless. Some signed up for a superhero story. What they got feels more like a political debate wrapped in spandex. And while Pedro keeps drawing headlines, the director's barely mentioned. It's like Pascal's running the whole PR campaign himself. And Marvel's letting him, even as the fallout grows louder. The fan base is tapping out. It's not just angry tweets anymore, fans are walking away. Midnight premieres skipped. Merch sales flatlined. Comment sections are full of former diehards saying they're done. Not because they hate change, but because they hate being told they're the problem. for wanting the characters they love to stay recognizable. Pedro tells them, "This isn't for you." And fans are saying, "Fine. Keep it." Marvel's spin cycle is already spinning. Even before the movie drops, you can see the headlines forming. Superhero fatigue. Troll backlash. Audiences not ready for bold storytelling. Classic dodge. The idea that criticism equals bigotry, that disappointment equals ignorance. But this time, fans aren't buying the spin. They've seen this playbook too many times. Change everything, ignore feedback, blame the backlash, rinse, repeat. A reboot wrapped in regret. This was supposed to be Marvel's comeback, the chance to right the ship after the disasters of Phase 4 and 5, a return to greatness, but now, instead of hope, there's apathy. And instead of excitement, there's exhaustion. This isn't about one actor or one character. It's about a studio that forgot what made people care in the first place. Connection, not correction. Passion, not politics. Pedro Pascal, the accidental arsonist. What's tragic is that Pedro Pascal probably thinks he's helping, that his outspokenness is bold, that he's fighting for something bigger. But from the outside, it looks like he's torching the very fandom that built this franchise. And he's not alone. Hollywood's new trend is treating fans like obstacles instead of allies. Speak out? You're labeled toxic. Critique a script? You're part of the problem. Disagree with a casting? You must be some kind of bigot. It's not just alienating, it's insulting. Marvel's last stand? So here we are, months before release, and the Fantastic Four reboot already feels radioactive. Studio insiders are quietly bracing for a flop. The energy behind the scenes? Panic, not pride. And if this movie fails, it won't just dent Marvel's ego. It could shatter the last bit of trust the fans still have. Trust that's already hanging by a thread. Because fans didn't want another lecture. They wanted a return to form, and instead they got a messy press tour, a politicized plot, and a superhero movie buried under spin. The final blow. Imagine this. Opening weekend hits. Reviews are brutal. Audience scores tank. People who once cheered for every Marvel trailer are now tuning out. And instead of accountability, we get excuses. The audience wasn't ready. The internet was mean. It's the algorithm's fault. Number. It's the studio's fault for forgetting that superheroes are supposed to inspire, not divide. The stories are supposed to uplift, not alienate. And that fans are not enemies. Pedro Pascal didn't just promote a movie. He exposed a studio culture that no longer values its own audience. And unless Marvel wakes up fast, Wahak, they're not just losing ticket sales, they're losing us. So, what do you think? Is Pedro Pascal dragging the Fantastic Four down before it even lifts off? Is Marvel headed for a major collapse? Or is this just the messy middle of a redemption arc? Drop your take in the comments, I want to hear it. Smash that like if you're tired of getting lectured by people who forgot how to tell a good story. And don't forget to subscribe. Because what's coming next? It's even crazier. Click the next video to dive into a Hollywood meltdown so wild this one looks tame by comparison. Stay bold, stay curious, and stay watching.